it's Rose. Welcome back to Journalising Time, and welcome if you're new. So I just wanted to quickly show you guys, before we do anything else, the freebies that are up on Ko-fi that go with the Fall Friends journal kit. We have 5 pages on my Ko-fi page, and on Rachel's we have these beautiful coin envelopes. And also Rachel does have a Ko-fi membership set up, so she has extra freebies in there for you if you are a member. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go through these 5 pages for you guys. So we have another little tea kettle house down here. I think that's adorable. And some vintage ephemera and things there. Beautiful sunflowers and pumpkins and mushrooms. Just a beautiful, almost background page, but with these gorgeous borders. Now I have this page and the next one printed on a textured paper, and it's a very subtle texture, but it's beautiful. It came out really nice, and I'm very happy with those. So that is that one. The next one, we have a kind of almost framed page with some beautiful acorns and some of the graphics that are running through the kit. We have a frame page, beautiful little watercolor type heart. And we have a background pattern page. Okay, so those are the 5 free pages that you will get on my Ko-fi website. I will link my Ko-fi below, and I will also link Rachel's below so that you can get those gorgeous coin envelopes. Okay, so what are we up to today? Oh, before I go any further, I do want to let you know that at the end of this video I will be doing the drawing for the Virgo Zodiac Journal for the month of August, and we will be rolling on September to the next one. I think, is the next one Scorpio? I'm not 100% sure, but I think the next one is Scorpio. So we'll be doing the drawing for the Virgo one today. Okay, so we are making some notebook tuckspot notebooks. Not sure what way to go with that one, but you will see on the title of the video, I guess, again. So I am taking some pages from the kit now, and I am actually going to use this one as well. This is the freebie. So we are using this page, and I have chosen a few other pages to work with today. Now I am making 6 of these, and that is because I am planning 2 journals. I don't know if I'm going to get 2 journals completely finished, but I'm planning to anyway. Okay, so first thing we need to look for. Now you can do these with the background pages as well, with the pattern pages and things like that, but I'm using images from these full pages. I just printed them out a second time, and we're going to use these. So what I'm looking for are pieces that I can fold along a diagonal like so, and get a nice image. So it's always going to be on the bottom of the page. If you're making these pieces, it's the images on the bottom of the pages that work. The top images, if you use those, they will be upside down. But if you can see here on this page, I have folded these 2 pieces back just to see what kind of an image we get with them. So this is on the bottom of the page, and I just folded it back, and that's what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to cut these out, and I'll show you what we're making so that you have some idea of what I'm talking about. So what I've essentially done is I have cut squares from my pages. I've just cut the image so that it is down to the bottom left. And we have all of these squares. Now some of these are folded already, as you can see. This is how I was just figuring out where I wanted to cut. It is entirely up to you. You could make yourself a little frame and kind of position it over your image and cut around it. It's entirely up to you how you go about getting these. But what we want to do, now this is at the bottom right, so this is going to flip the other way, which is totally fine. And it doesn't appear to be cut nicely either, so I'm going to have to trim that one, but that's okay. So I'm getting them folded kind of on a quarter, like so. Oh, I have a few cuts that are off there. but we'll fix those, that's okay. It's just because of the way I was going about cutting them, okay? So we're folding them all on the quarter so that we have these little triangles. And we have these beautiful images on all of our triangles. Look at those, don't they look adorable? Ah! Now, let's go about trimming these up. Very simple. If your square looks off, you just trim it like so. Just take off any overhanging bits. Okay, and there we have those guys. And we have two that go the opposite way, like this one, and this one can go the opposite way. And these four go this way, okay? That wasn't by design, that was just the images that I chose. So you need to be aware of that when you're choosing your images, whether they're going to be on this side or on this side. Okay, now mine are white on the inside. If you've printed on a coffee dyed paper, you're good to go, or if you have printed on the backs of your papers, you're good to go. Now there are several ways that we can go about this, and I'm picking two at random, and I'm going to just stain these with my spray. It is a spray, but the bottle is all blocked. But this is just some re-inker from Tim Holtz Dyes. There's vintage photo and probably brushed core dry in here. Maybe some walnut stain. So I'm just getting some of that on my glass mat, swoosh it around, and I'm just going to dip into it. Okay, so while we're waiting for those to dry, we can work on these other two for the time being. Now I have pulled out a couple of napkins from my stash, and these are the only two napkins I have in my stash at the moment, I think, that really work for fall. So this one, and I only have one of each of these because these were given to me in swaps. So we have this one, absolutely beautiful. Look at the berries on that, as gorgeous. And we have this one here, which I think works really, really well with the colours of the kit. So we're going to use the two of these. Okay, so I have a bottle of PVA glue here, and I am just going to put some into this little tubby tub. Now we're only doing a small surface, so put another little bit. We don't need a whole lot, and I'm going to take my water bottle and I'm going to pour some water in there as well. And I'm doing this on camera just so you can see it's very arbitrary. I just put in some water, okay? I'd say it's about 2 to 1, but who knows, eh? Okay, so that's that. Now I am going to need something for the surface. This is just some contact paper or sticker paper. I have a little bit of glue on that, but that would be okay, I'd say. If you get glue on these and you want to reuse them, you can just take a card, like a credit card and things, and just, it scrapes off. It's very easy to get it off. So these can be reused over and over and over again. Okay, so I'm just going to mix up my glue here. I'm just taking the handle of my paintbrush and just mixing it up. So we have a very watery glue here, okay? And I particularly wanted this watery because I wanted to keep, sorry, I wanted to keep the flexibility. I get really annoyed when I glue things and they get very stiff. So I'm trying to use a thinner glue for this. So we'll see how that works. Okay, and I'm also going to add, now, you can add tea or coffee to this. I am going to add just a drop of brushed core dry Distress Ink re-inker, and I'm just going to put in 1 drop for now, and we'll mix it up and see. Yeah, I think that's plenty. So we have a nice vintagey looking mixture going on. So I'm going to paint on my glue mixture. Of course, now I'm just after realising that I should have taken my napkins apart before I put on the glue. And this is very watery. I'm hoping that this works. Okay, so which one have we got there? So I'm using this napkin on this piece. There's only 2 ply on this, I think it looks like. We'll see. Oh no, there's a third one. So there's the first one. The second one. Now, a tip for these is just use some washi to pull up that first layer, see? It just pulls it off and starts it off for you. So if you're struggling with them, use some tape. There we have the second one, and I'm going to add another little bit of glue on my page anyway for a start, because it's all after pooling on me. Oh Lord, I went about that all backwards, didn't I? Okay, so I'm taking that off of my page and I'm going to lay it down there just for the time being. And I'm going to get my napkin positioned on the diagonal with this one, I think. And I'm going to just push it down into place. I am not going to stroke up and down with it. I'm just pushing it into place. I'm smoothing it. Now, I'm not using the tips of the bristles when I'm moving it. I'm using the side of the brush just to smooth it down. And I'm using a very, very light touch with that. Okay, I'm going to put another little bit of glue over the top of this. Again, being very, very gentle. Okay. I'm just going to tear away the edges of this. So let's get this up and away, out of our way, to dry. Now I'm going to be a little bit cleverer about this one, and I'm going to look at my napkin first. So this beauty is going on at the back of our sunflowers. Let's see what we have. It's absolutely stunning, right? So those are upside down. It's one of those ones that has the 4 squares as such. So I'm going to put it there, I think. That will be very pretty. Very pretty. Okay, so let's get our napkin cut down. Our weather has turned distinctly autumny. It's like somebody told the clouds above that, yeah, it's autumn time now. Start raining on Ireland. But it's kind of nice as well. It's nice to be inside and doing something you love when it's raining outside. I love it. Okay, it's just as well I do living in Ireland, really, isn't it? Okay, so let's get our napkins sorted here. I need my tape again. So there we have our napkin piece. Let's get our sunflowers in place. Get our glue on here. Oh, we need our sheet so that we're not getting glue everywhere. Okay, so these ones are dry. Let's see. So when we open that, it's a bit plain. Okay, they're a little bit plain as they are now. So let's try something on those. I'm thinking that I want to do some stenciling and some stamping maybe. Okay, so I have 2 stencils. I have a couple of stamps. I have a little hedgehog and a little squirrel stamp. They are so cute. I'm hoping that they will work. I have a couple of leaves. So let's see. I think the leaves on the inside of that one. And I think this paisley on the inside of this one. If you saw Rachel's tags, let's see if I can pull it out here. One of them has this beautiful patterning on it, and while it's not paisley, it does kind of lend itself. So I'm using these. Now, what colours do I want to use on these, and what mediums do I want to use? It's all decisions. So I just have this white acrylic paste. It's supposed to be an acrylic effect paste. I don't know. It just comes up like paint to me. but I'm going to use this. You can use just regular white paint, you can use gesso, you can use texture paste if you want. I'm just going to use this. Okay, so get these sorted out. Get those down here. Now I'm going to tape these into place. So I'm just putting a little bit just to keep the paper in place as well, just on one corner, but I'm going to tape the rest, just the stencil, into place. Okay, so let's get that down there and that up there. So I'm hoping that that's enough tape there just to keep that paper there, and that will keep that in place there. So let's get some of this paste on here. I think that is enough. Put it up and see what we got. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so we're on to our stamping ones. So that is our little hedgehog, and we have our little teapot house as well. Isn't that just the most adorable thing? So I think I'm going to have like either the squirrel or the hedgehog. Now the squirrel will be in a tree, so we'll do the hedgehog on the inside of this one as well. And when this is on the page, when we have the notebook in, this will be going on a page like so. So it's going to open up as the square, but we're going to see like this half of it. So I want to get him positioned nicely so that it'll look nice. Okay, and on the other one, don't necessarily want the squirrel on there. I might just do a pattern with the leaves, or we could do a background stamp. I'm going to go with this one. I use that one quite a lot. It kind of works with a lot of different themes, so it, you know, it's all good. Okay, so we'll use that one there. We'll put our little hedgehog guy here and maybe a couple of leaves under him. Yeah. So I'm going to do something a little special with that, so we'll put that aside for the time being. We'll get this one done. So what I'm going to do with this one, I am going to mix and match the inks on the actual stamp. Now, when you're doing this, you have to be very careful to not mix your distress inks with your distress oxide. Okay? So I'm very gingerly, in fact, I'm actually not even going to do that. I'm going to get the distress oxide stamped down. I'm just going to spot stamp, as always. And there is probably no need to spot stamp with this because I hadn't done the whole stamp with it. But that'll give a little bit of texture there. Now I'm going to wipe my stamp, and I'm going to use my Vintage Photo Distress ink with, in fact I'm not, I'm going to use my Walnut Stain Distress ink along with the other two, with the Aged Mahogany and the Pine Needles. I like it. And I'm going to leave that as is. I'm not going to do any more with that. That is decoration enough in there. So with this one, I want to make a little scene almost. So to do that, I need my sheet again here. I'm going to get this stamped out like so. I'm just going to get this cut out. So, I'm going to get my hedgehog stamp again. Decide where I want him. I'm going to put him right here, I think. And I'm going to stamp him with the archival again. And then I am going to tape this on top so that I can stamp my leaves and they will appear that they are behind my little hedgehog. Just get him taped into place, and then we can start our leaf stamping. Now, I'm not going to make this too complicated, or at least I'm going to try not to make this too complicated. Yeah. I think I'll do the more solid one first, and I am going to need a cut out of this as well. Okay, so I think I will use the vintage photo first. And this is the Distress Oxide. Now my leaves are totally out of scale with my hedgehog, but I'm okay with that. I'm just working with what I've got. Just going to put that down there. And I'm going to wipe off my stamp because I'm using different types of ink here. And I'm going to use the aged mahogany next. And I think I need a little bit of green. Now I am going to put this down here with a little bit of tape. And I'm going to need to cut another one. I'm going to get this down here. And I guess I could use these little masks in my journal later. So I'm going to keep these. Put that there. And what colour is next? I want to use this Forest Moss green. Yeah, liking that. Okay, so we have those there. Now let's lift that up and see what that looks like. Okay, so let's get this there, and I think I would actually like a brighter red, so I think I might use this one. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's a little something something on the inside of our little notebook. Awesome! So the next thing we need to do is get some pages into these. These are going to be little notebooks. So we need squares of paper that are roughly the same size, either the exact same size or slightly smaller. Now you can use whatever papers you want in here. They could be scrappy notebooks or they can be perfectly aligned and beautiful paper. Entirely up to yourself. And you can have torn edges on them, you can have them cut straight and nice, entirely up to you. So I'm going to go and have a little dig and see what I have. Okay, so I've just picked out some various bits and bobs. These are sheets from the kit. These are some of the backing papers. I have a couple of sheets of brown paper here, a yellow tea stained paper, and just a regular tea stained page as well. So I'm just going to cut squares out of these and maybe tear them with my ruler. And I'm going to do, I think, 3 pages per notebook. But I'll get these cut down and we'll come back and we'll decide how many we want. Okay, so I have cut down all of my papers. I have divided them into sets of 3. All I'm going to do, these are not the same size or shape or anything. I did them roughly the same size. So I'm just going to fold these in half, corner to corner. Doesn't matter if they match up or not. That's totally fine. Now, there are several ways you can go about getting these stuck down, getting the pages in here. One really nice way that does work is to use washies on them, but I do find that it makes a little bit of bulk in there, so I don't want to do that. So for this one, I think I'm going to take my pokey tool and I am just going to poke 2 holes. Now, I'm not bothered about where I poked the first one. The second one, I'm going to fold them like so. And I'm just going to put a mark there, just so that I can get them somewhat even. They're not perfect, and that's okay. So we have 2 holes. I'm going to take some string. I have some lovely brown string here that will do nicely. I'm actually using the blunt end of my pokey tool here just to push this through the hole and hope that it works. And I'm just going to tie a little knot. Now it would have been nice if my string was a little bit longer. I could have made a nice little bow. But there we have a notebook. Okay, so another way that we can do this. Now for this one you would need a long reach stapler or... Okay, so this is kind of a magnetic stapler, so you can take it apart. It's got 3 different parts: base plate, another plate to hold your paper in place, and the stapler itself is magnetic as well. So all we do, we get our paper into place. Now I have already done this, but I put the stapler on the wrong side, so I had to take it out and redo it. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up. I have little lines on mine to help me make sure that I have it correct. I'm going to get my plate down, get my staple in. That's that. Good enough. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I'm going to try and get one into the middle as well, I think, for this one. So we have staples or string, okay? And each one works equally well. Now a lot of people don't like staples, and that's totally fine. Use your string. Okay, so I've gone ahead and got all these bound, and the 2 that we were waiting on with the napkins on the inside of the cover, they're all ready to go as well. So all I did, when these were dry, I trimmed around the edges and I went over this with a very fine grit sandpaper. So you can see where there would have been wrinkles in that napkin, it would have had lots of ridges and things like that, and there's still 1 or 2 there. But if you go over with a fine grit sandpaper, it smooths all that out. It'll never be perfectly smooth, but that feels so much nicer, and it's a lot more flexible now as well after the sanding. So that's just a little tip. I actually picked that tip up from Andrea over at Artie Maze. So yeah, it works really, really well and I love it. Okay, so we have all our notebooks. So yeah, I have 2 of them done with the staples and I've done the rest with ties. 2 of them have bows and 2 of them are just straight through, like so. Okay, so do we want to do anything else to these? We could put laces and things along the bottom. Let's have a look and see. Now the thing is, I don't want to cover up these images, so this might be a little difficult. Oh, and guys, with this one as well, when I put the papers in, they were overhanging and I trimmed them all down except for this one. I actually kind of think it looks kind of cool, so I might leave it on this one. It looked pretty cool on all the rest of them too, but it was only when I got to this one I got the idea, oh, maybe I should just leave them then. So yeah, I'm kind of enjoying the ragged look of that. Okay, anyway. So yeah, we're talking about getting laces and things. This one could definitely do with something. Okay, so we could put something over here, but I don't want to go all the ways across and hide that flower completely. Of course, I could put lace down the edge and make it a little more decorative than just the washi tape. So we could do something like that. Now we also have our little bits and pieces from the kit. So we could add a couple of bits and pieces like that, or maybe labels, little bits and bobs. Okay, so I'm going to play around. I'm going to have a look at what I want to do. Yeah, I'll have a play and see what we come up with for these. Okay guys, so this is what we've ended up with. I actually only ended up with one of them going this way because I forgot that this one was supposed to go this way and I decorated it that way. Would it work that way? It probably would. Might get away with that. We'll see when we're putting them into the journal. So I have done a lot of lace and buttons and things. These are just some embroidery thread pulled apart and bundled up behind our button just to bring in a little bit of the extra colour. We have a selection of buttons down this lace here with just one of the little tabs from the kit and a piece of fabric behind it. I really didn't want to cover up too much of the images on these, so the decorations are fairly minimal but still very effective. Okay, so on this one I have done a little plate down here, and I have handwritten fall just on that, and we have a bit of trim up here, and here I have a tiny little flower that was cut from a paint chip. And this one we have, I think this might be my favorite one. I think the colors of the buttons on this one are just amazing. They match so well with what's going on down here, and there's a little bit of lace behind those as well. So that's that one. On this one I just have a piece of fabric, a piece of paper back here, and a die cut leaf shape. And on this one I gave our little hedgehog a button with a bow, and we have some fabric, a fancy plate, and a couple of buttons. Okay, so that is what we have. Now let's have a look and see where we want these. I have 6 signatures here, and obviously I haven't put down all the papers and stuff yet. I haven't decided what I'm doing with all of them, but each one of these signatures is going to have a pocket. Again, a lot of the papers in here, like I want to hinge these two together. That hasn't been done yet, so just, you know, working my way through. Okay, so let's see where we want to put these. Let's see, maybe this one. Oh, this would be beautiful. Okay, so I think I might put that one on here. Now I'm not going to glue these in at the moment. Well, not all of them. I'm not going to glue this in because I might want to do something to the back of that. So I'm just going to paper clip this into place for now. And let's see about the next one. Okay. Let's see what we have here. That would look very sweet there. I'm quite liking that. Again, I'm going to paper clip this into place. Now I'm paper clipping these, but when it comes time to put these into the journal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue 2 sides, have it as a corner pocket and a secret journaling space. Okay, because when it's like that, you wouldn't, and you see something peeking out, you're not going to think, oh, that must be a notebook. So yeah, clip that on there. Let's see about the next one. And these pages themselves may actually change as well. I've been finding a few other bits and pieces that would work well in the journal. What about this over here? I quite like that. Okay, let's get that pinned down. Go on to the next signature. Okay, I think this one here would be very, very cute with the the botanical page I have over here. So yeah, let's go to the next signature. We have 2 left. Now I don't necessarily want to put this image. Now, actually I just realized I meant to say this to you guys. What you could do is find the pages that these images come from and actually kind of match them up. So you see that? Now this page isn't tea-dyed and this one has been coloured from the back, but it's still affected the front of it, so they look like 2 different colours. But they actually match up perfectly. So you could actually put it on there. I think that might be very cute. Put it on there. And we have the sunflowers is the last one. Absolutely gorgeous. Love that image. And I want to have this envelope as the inside of this. Now that would look very cute on this page. Yeah, that might be really cool. Okay, that worked out really easily and really nicely. Love that. Okay. Okay, you guys, so that's it for the pockets, and let's get the drawing done for our Virgo journal. Okay, so I have my random number generator. I have 56 keyed in because we have 56 entrants. I have my list here. So let's hit generate. And it's number 51, and number 51 is Cheryl Talafus. Oh my goodness, Cheryl, I am so happy. Okay, Cheryl, I will contact you on Facebook. Cheryl is a good friend of mine. She's such a sweet lady, and she has an amazing YouTube channel. If you guys haven't seen it, hop over there and check it out. And she's also a guest design team member for the Fall Friends kit. So yeah, Cheryl, that is awesome. Congratulations, my darling. So that is our draw done. And don't forget, for the month of September, for every video that you comment on, you will be entered into the draw to win our next journal, which I think is the Scorpio one. So yeah, make sure you comment on the videos and make your subscription public. The details on how to do that will also be in the description box below. There's a link to a sheet that will explain that to you. But just one thing about that, it doesn't say on the sheet, you need to do that from either a laptop or a desktop. A mobile device will not work. Okay, so that is that. Okay guys, so if you are joining in with the challenges over on the the Junk Journal Trading Post with Rach and Bella Crafts Facebook group, this make that we did today will be a challenge over there, and your challenge is to make 2 corner tuck notebooks. Okay, so that is it from me for today. I will talk to you guys very soon in the next video, and we'll see what we get up to next. Bye guys.